Welcome to the Game Deflators Podcast, episode 32.
It's not Rockets, John.
It's not Rockets? Okay. Well, this is episode 32 of the Game Deflators Podcast. James is over here pressing his nose up to a mic, and Ryan is eagerly anticipating...
pop filter. See? Now we got to start over, John.
No, we don't. All right. So Ryan is looking at me with anticipation. God damn it, James. And he is looking to give us our intro for episode 32. Go on, Ryan.
Here at the Game Deflators Podcast, we like to talk about snot rockets, noses on pop filters, and whatever John's rambling about, but also games we've recently picked up, games we're currently playing, and the unquestionably evil Crappy Game Challenge.
/ inflation deflation.
That as well. That as well this week. This week we're in for it, folks, and we all know that there's no escaping the wrath of James.
Ryan's optimism has doomed y'all, so we obviously are skipping over Ghostbusters because of Ryan's his optimistic attitude toward all these crappy games. The next game they have to play is Wolverine on the NES.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break from Crappy Game Challenges. Ryan hit us with a random Bayou Billy last week for Crappy Game. Didn't even realize
just out of left field.
Yeah, just said, we're gonna play Bayou Billy. Really, Ryan? That's your decision this week? And of course, you had already hammered us with Simpsons Wrestling, which we announced last week, and there is a nice little preview that you guys would have watched on social media beforehand.
So hopefully next week we'll actually be able to play something fun. I'm thinking we'll get into this later.
Yeah. We'll give you some time to look at the collection while James and I are talking, and you'll enjoy yourself.
Yeah, we'll kind of guide him. I'll get out the yardstick, and as Ryan starts to point out a game, we're like, no, we said a good game.
That's actually that'd be a pretty good thing to do, I think.
Hey, we saw what happened last time when you left into his devices.
Yeah, no, it's not happening. Never again. Right. Never are you allowed to pick alone. All right, let's get started. So we had some pickups this week. Ryan, I'm looking at our little template here, and you didn't pick up anything.
No, I have not been buying any games lately. There's just not been anything out. I did get this month's PS Plus games, What Remains of Edith Finch, and Overcooked. I'm going to be playing Edith Finch later today, so I'll talk about that next week. And Overcook is brutal and difficult, and I probably won't be playing that again, but at least I'll have it around.
I've heard amazing things about Overcook. Have you played Everybody's Gone to the Rapture?
No.
Oh, fucking phenomenal. I believe it's more or less the same playstyle as Edith Finch, where it's you're interacting through a visual novel. Fantastic game and story. Highly recommend it.
Well, I picked up Hollow Knight on the Nintendo Switch. I saw James's social media post, and I just had to get it myself. So I'm very excited to play that game. It's a physical copy, obviously, versus the digital that was released a good while back. And if it's anything like some of the games I'm currently playing and games in the past like Shovel Knight, it will be good.
Absolutely. I had initially bought it because I was looking at the as I discussed with one of our fans on Facebook, I initially was looking at the plushie, and I was like, the plushie is kind of cool and unique, but it's just a digital code. And while I was on the fence, they finally announced that physical copy, which I was so happy with. I actually had to put up the pictures of the unboxing because not only does it have the reversible insert, it has a nice manual. It comes with a sealed letter treasure map. Well, not really a treasure map, but a map of the world, DLC code. I thought, there was like, you know what? This includes all the DLC content, everything, all on this Switch cart. So I was pretty happy with it. And as a big fan of Metroidvania type games, ever since Super Metroid and Symphony of the Night and onward, I'm not a huge fan of all the iterations of the Metroidvanias. Like, I don't like Metroid Fusion too much. I love Zero Mission. But I'm really itching to actually play it. I kind of want to... I already started another game, and I kind of want to try to get into it, but I'm really itching to play Hollow Knight.
Yeah, it's definitely been on my radar for a while, dude. So I honestly... A while back, when I first saw pictures and videos of Hollow Knight, I was like, I will only get this game as a physical copy, obviously. Mm-hmm. That's how generally both of us are. And
we're so spoiled.
Yeah, exactly. I completely forgot about the game, and then I saw your pictures. I'm like, oh, snap. A physical copy came out. I need to buy it. So that was That was my reaction to your pictures.
Absolutely. And those pictures are currently on our Facebook, the Game Deflators on Facebook. I kind of forgot, but I will later today remember to upload them to Instagram.
Sounds like a plan, dude.
What other social media are we on, Ryan?
Yeah, so if anybody's out there wants to check us out, you can find us at Twitter at Game Deflators, everywhere else, The Game Deflators.
And we are on Podbean as our host, and you can find us on iTunes, Google Music, and Spotify, as well as pretty much any other podcast application out there.
Yeah, if you go out there and you listen to us somewhere, leave us a review, hit us a like, do something to let other people know that we're out there, because the only way people are going to know if we're out there is if you tell them, or you do those little 1-second interactions on whatever kind of, media you're into.
Absolutely. Word of mouth is the best form of advertising for us, and even if y'all only take a second to punch Game Deflators or the Game Deflators into Google and click on the first result, that helps tremendously. We appreciate it.
Exactly. Well, I think it's time, with your Metroidvania reference, to get into our currently playing. I'll go first really quick because I segued into myself here. I am currently playing Super Metroid. I picked it up a while back on the SNES Classic. James got me into it, and I had the whole move into the new house and everything else that's gone on in life, and I finally had the opportunity to pick it up the other day when James randomly came over, and of course we had the typical game collector issue of he and I sat here for probably 30-40 minutes going, what do we play? Looking at the shelf, pulling games off, having no idea what to flip and play, and eventually I'm like, well, I still have Super Metroid, and I haven't touched that in 3-4 months. So how about that?
You were still at the very beginning too.
Yeah, I pretty much had only beat the first boss in the game, and had no weapons. Now I am probably 6.5 hours in, actually more like 7 because I played a good bit last night, and I have all of the beams, all of the suits, all of the possible bombs. I need one more reserve energy tank, and that's about it. And I also took down 2 bosses last night after you left. So I pretty much cleared out, what's the level we were in last night? Meridia. Yeah, so I cleared that out last night for the most part.
How did you take out the caterpillar boss? Did you use the trick, or did you do it the old-fashioned way?
Well, if the trick is to hide in the bottom left corner and charge up your beam and just wait till his head pops up, then that's what I did.
Oh, you're thinking of the worm. The caterpillar boss...
you're talking about the one that comes out and I have to electrocute him?
Yeah, you did that?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I had like 8 energy tanks, so it was really a matter of just like, let me go ahead and hit this electricity. All right, cool, we're done.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was fast. That was probably the easiest boss battle to date.
Yeah, I thought that was a neat trick that they actually had that option where you had to actually blow open the outlets with the missiles and like let it grab you and everything.
Well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, I looked at because we had obviously discussed like, oh yeah, if you cling on with your grapple, you'll electrocute yourself.
Yeah, that's why I dropped that hint for you earlier in the night.
Yeah, 2 and 2 together, it was just like, oh, I see an electrical thing is blown up. Let me just go ahead and attach it. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. So I've enjoyed myself a lot playing this game. And really after this, I'm going to go ahead and start playing Suikoden 2. It's just James and I were like, well, let's go ahead and play. And he broke it down as it was an 8-hour game. And that's something I could knock out in just about a weekend because I am almost done. So we'll see. I might actually beat it tonight.
Oh, yeah. Super Metroid is a fantastic game. It's definitely one of my favorite games of all time.
I'm surprised I'd never beat it before.
Oh, dude, yeah. Like I said, after you finish this, I highly recommend playing through Metroid Zero Mission and Project AM2R, which is another Metroid 2 remake. Both very, very good, games.
Yeah, I think you officially got me into Metroid games.
Oh, yeah.
It's a terrible thing.
They're awesome.
I absolutely hate you now. Ryan?
I like Metroid also, but I'm still playing Zone of the Enders, Fist of Mars for GBA. I got through like 3 more levels this week. There's just... I don't know. I realized there was a time where I was supposed to be playing this game and I just wasn't. So now it's like I'm like using my time to play games to actually play the games that I need to play to get through for the new games resolution. So once I'm done with that one, I'll probably segue straight into Zone of the Enders 1 and then Second Runner, and hopefully we'll be able to get those at least done or, on to Second Runner, hopefully, by the time E3 comes out. And then we'll be able to see, hopefully they'll have an announcement for Daemon X Machina, and I can find out when that's coming out.
How's the Zone of the Enders on the GBA? I've actually, honestly, I didn't even know there was one on there until you started playing it.
I love it. I think it's great. I think it's a really interesting tactical RPG. It's got a really unique battle style where you have a reticle that you have to lock onto the enemy as they're kind of moving around. You got to time it and try to hit for the crit spot. Or when you're defending, they just kind of launch target reticles at your screen and you have to get out of them before like the lock on happens. You can also turn on like a mode to just skip the whole manual part and just go on RNG and stats, which doesn't really, I don't know, it's not as reliable as doing it yourself, but if you don't really care or you're in a hurry, it saves you a ton of time doing it that way. So I'm kind of trying to get through the game now, and I'm doing a little bit hybrid now instead of, messing around and just doing it all myself, because sometimes you don't really need to worry about it as much.
Gotcha.
Do you have a PlayStation 3?
Yes.
Okay, cool. When you get to it, do you want to borrow my Zone of the Enders HD collection?
I already got it.
Oh, okay, well, see, that works out then.
Well, apparently everybody has it but me.
Yeah, I guess so. You should really hop on that. He just reminded me that there's a couple of them I think I might go hunt down myself, but for a while there, near the end of the PS3's life before the PS4 came out, there was a lot of HD remaster collections just fucking slipping right under the radar. Like one day I found a Prince of Persia HD remastered trilogy on PS3.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. You're welcome to borrow it. Because I had never finished the original Prince of Persia on PS2 back in the day, and I was like, saw this, I was like, this is fucking great. It's got the first 3 games on it. I have that. Zone of the Enders, obviously. I saw one for Tomb Raider. There was one for Splinter Cell. A couple others.
God of War.
Yeah. Silent
Hill has one. I do have that one.
Yeah, those kind of were made a big deal. The Metal Gear Solid one was made a big deal, but...
I think they did Jak and Daxter as well, didn't they?
Yep, Jak and Daxter.
Sly Cooper.
Yeah. There was a lot of them, but I was... little things like if you digged Prince of Persia: Sands of Time and the Two Thrones, and I forgot the name of the third one. Ryan will look it up in a minute, probably. But anyways, if y'all come across that, definitely grab it. I mean, the PS2 versions are great and all. There were some copies of the third game on PS2 that had a glitch where the quick time event indicator wouldn't always light up, and it made boss battles a nightmare, but it's fixed in the PS3 version, and they look phenomenal in 720p.
Sounds good. I do need to pick some of those up, actually. So who knows? Maybe those will be some upcoming pickups.
Two Thrones is the third one.
Two Thrones. Okay.
Warrior Within is the second one.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, there we go.
So what are you currently playing?
I am currently playing, I took a page from Ryan's book, and I'm not going to finish Star Tropics. And I'm okay with that. I made it all the way to the spaceship. I spent a good hour or so working my way through the spaceship. Very, very frustrating. I would say my only real grumble with Star Tropics is the imbalance in the difficulty and the poor planning of puzzles. And by that I mean a lot of the bosses are pretty simple. You just have to figure out the trick to them or their pattern. But once you get to the spaceship, which is the final stage, they just crank the difficulty up as far as like random enemies that fly across the screen to hit you, take a shitload of health. Enemies that have just random walking patterns, like worse than the Dark Knights and Legend of Zelda, like really irritating. They take up a lot of space. And after a while, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna look this up. It's like, oh, and there's a boss rush after I get through here before the final boss. I was like, you know what? I've enjoyed all the cool quirkiness of the game. I've enjoyed the puzzles, even though a lot of the puzzles felt like they were designed to sell Nintendo Power subscriptions. Some of the stuff was just completely obtuse, and I had to literally go Google it a couple of times to go, oh, what the fuck? Seriously? But I'm done with that. I enjoyed it for what it's worth. I was tinkering with my PS Vita over the weekend, and since I had already modified it a while back, I found that I could actually stream through USB to my PC with OBS or Pot Player, and that essentially allows me to actually play my Vita on the larger screen. I found there's a plugin where I can use a DualShock 4 to play the Vita. And I'll be posting pictures of this later on. So I have Steam Link built into my TV. So what I'm doing is I am streaming the Vita from USB to my computer, and then from my computer via Steam Link to my TV. So I'm playing my PS Vita on my TV with the DualShock 4. It's pretty awesome. But on that, I started playing The Bard's Tale on PS2, or technically PS Vita. Picked it up, played it a few times over the years. Just never got too far past the beginning for whatever reason. And this time I really want to invest some time in it. It has a great sarcastic humor with a lot of fourth wall breaking, things like that. There's a smart-ass narrator who narrates everything you do, and the character stops and responds to the narrator, things like that. Highly, even if you only play the PS2 version, definitely recommend picking up. It's cheap and it's fun. So rumor has it you also beat a game recently. Oh, that is right. Apparently I'm ahead of you guys on the new games resolution. So part of my new games resolution was I had picked a game To the Moon, and then I picked Half-Life 1 because To the Moon is fairly short. It's about 5 hours or so. So To the Moon right now, unfortunately, is only a PC game, which honestly...
I'll interrupt you on that one. There's actually discussions that it will be coming out on a Nintendo console.
Possibility. This game has been out for many years.
No, there's an article that recently came out probably like a month ago at the very most, where somebody said, is this going to come out? And the developer said, we're in discussions with Nintendo.
They really should. They would they would easily make quite a bit of money. So this game essentially could run on a microwave. It was built with the RPG Maker engine. And so it is a story-driven game with a couple of puzzle elements and parts where you're in control, parts where mostly you're pushing for the story. And the gist of the story is you're this old man on his deathbed named Tommy, and there's this corporation that what they do is they fulfill dying wishes, and how they do it is they developed a technology that allows them to go into the mind of the person on their deathbed and alter their memories so they can fulfill that one wish. And Tom's one wish was that he always wanted to go to the moon. So what you're actually doing is you're playing as two doctors during the game that you start out, current age as an old man and work your way backwards. You're actually kind of ghost-like experiencing and watching his memories and gathering evidence and information so that you can, near the end of the game, alter each of those memories just slightly enough to basically create this artificial memory that he gets to go to the moon. There's a lot more to it than that. The story itself really hit me right in the feels. It really just punched me in the gut in the feels. So I highly, highly recommend it. I don't want to say too much more about it. It is a fairly short game. The puzzle elements for some of the stuff is not even challenging. The puzzles are created in such a way that you can just fart around and get the solution, and it's done that way to move the story forward. Yeah, from what I was reading on it, because I did look into it a little bit, so there's apparently a prequel, or not a prequel, but a game that came before it, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a game that technically takes place after the fact, but it's really just story-driven, is from what I read. It's not even, they say RPG for the type of game and that there's puzzle elements, but realistically what you're doing is playing through a story. Yes. And there's no heavy gameplay needed to go through it. It's not a hard game to beat. It's more of you're going to get a story. Exactly. A great one. Even late in the game, there's a part where there's actually an action sequence, and the worst part of that was just figuring out how the keyboard controls were mapped to my Xbox One controller, and that took all of a second. And honestly, the action sequence was created as part of to build drama, is what it was really up to. But yeah, it's very much story-driven. It's very obviously made with RPG Maker, meaning that the graphics are very obviously 16-bit style, like the Square Enix games, Breath of Fire and Final Fantasy. Graphics are great. The story, the writing is great. There is some hand-drawn animation here and there. Highly recommend. That's why I was saying, you and your wife should definitely sit down and play it together. I would say you guys too. If y'all want to borrow it from my Steam account to be able to play it. I have definitely. My Steam box too, so can't I play that on my TV? Yeah, you have Steam Link. Yeah, Sweet. Exactly.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be coming to Switch mid-2019. And the other games you were talking about, there's the Bird Story, which was set in the same universe, but not a direct continuation. And then Finding Paradise, which is a direct sequel.
Oh, really?
And then there's also an animated film adaptation in development.
That would be great. I think it would be right up there with some Miyazaki stuff.
Yeah, I really hope that they take the 3 games and combine it into one Switch release. That'd be pretty awesome, actually, to do something. I mean, you would kind of have to, in a way. I mean, to your point, it's a 5
really small.
Yeah, it's a 5-hour game. So if you combine the 3 of them in a nice $35 package, I think that'd be great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I am just fucking stunned that this game has been out for years and they hadn't talked or hadn't made any progress with console makers as far as releasing a digital console version of these games.
I mean,
Well, it did come out on iOS and Android in
Kinda makes
2017.
Nice. Well, I guess it's progressed over the years to get to where it is today. That's good though. I mean, for the creator and everything.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful story. So what are you guys playing? Did we go through everyone already?
We're
Yeah,
Dude,
I think that's about it.
I don't think James cares about us. He wasn't listening.
So
They're silent,
saying
so
something?
I would agree. Yep.
on to the news. Best news this week, besides being excited for, that to get ported over, a lot of people are super excited about the Xbox Game Pass coming to PC. So people out there who don't know, Xbox Game Pass is a feature that I don't think do any of us have an Xbox One?
I do.
You do?
I don't.
Yeah,
So
I don't have
you-
Live or anything. I
Do you
just
have
an-
experience with Xbox Game Pass at all?
Nope. I don't have Xbox Live either. I just have an Xbox One.
Okay, so it's a subscription
X.
service that lets you play a whole list of games, and now they're going to bring that over to PC, so you don't even have to have an Xbox One to play. So they've got about 100 games coming when they launch from 75 different developers. So this is going to be a pretty cool way for people who aren't that interested in buying a whole nother console but have a PC to get on board with some of the stuff. Now, I don't know what the specs are going to be for the PC games.
Is there a price on there?
It's probably going to be whatever the standard subscription is. I don't think it's changing. I don't know what it is.
What's PlayStation
$10
now?
a month.
What's
$10
PlayStation?
a month. Damn, that's cheap.
What's the cost of PlayStation now?
I think it's like 20 something bucks a month. Ryan, can you check that?
Got it.
But I also think generally it should be they're going to be streaming the games to you Netflix style. Because otherwise that would be a bit of a deal breaker for a lot of people, like not having the sufficient hardware to run a lot of these games.
Well, one thing
$20 a month.
One thing I kind of question too, though, is like, what is Microsoft doing? Because they're planning on releasing a next-gen console, right? But it seems like every single week you hear something about Microsoft going through digital and PC and everything else. It's like, are you trying to just push games? Are you trying to push yourself out of consoles? Like, what's their overall like long-term game plan here? I mean, I just can't tell given their track record and what they've done in the last year and a half. Like, it seems like they want to push game consoles, but then they do stuff like this of like, you don't have to have a console. You can just play on your computer.
Well, I mean, with the next big push of the next gen consoles, like, I don't know how long those are going to be around, but with all the, streaming of games and stuff, who knows? Maybe this could be the last gen console that comes out. This next generation, because as long as it has the ability to run, whatever the newest hottest shit is, then I'm pretty sure from there on you'd be able to stream in whatever you need to like be even better than whatever that's going to look like.
I just don't even know if from a global standpoint that they're even ready to do pure streaming and just say we're done with consoles. Because I mean, we have high-speed internet, but not everybody has high-speed internet to be able to do these types of things.
Well, those aren't the market then.
Well, that's the thing. The market, that particular market, can save up to buy a console and buy games and do that type of thing. But if they can't do, high-speed internet, then that's going to kind of screw them over. So I don't know. It's just interesting to see how this is going to play out in the long run.
I think what they're aiming for is basically to push everything into subscription and digital base, because digital versions of games maximize their profit. They don't have to worry about distribution as much. They don't have to worry about making physical prints, things like that. They are in talks of either the next Xbox console itself or a reiteration of the Xbox One X without an optical disc drive, and it'll be just a purely digital box.
And it's only like $50 cheaper or something stupid.
Yeah, fucking ridiculous. But at $10 a month, I think that's fucking great. That's cheaper than Netflix. And there's a couple of ways they can do that. They could live stream the game into your console, but they're more likely going to be caching huge chunks of data onto your computer or your console to make it work. My concern would be with the greedy internet service providers and their bandwidth cap bullshit. There is no real reason to have bandwidth caps. Don't get me wrong, it does cost money to run the servers and the data lines and things like that, but it's not like it's water or electricity, things like that. It's they're pumping out the same amount of bandwidth regardless. They just restrict it at your modem is what's really going on. And they're just, they added those bandwidth caps as a way to just charge people for like, oh, you went over a terabyte of data, which, a family watching Netflix plus gaming, not that hard to hit a terabyte of data. And you start considering like we're going to be streaming, 40, 50 gigabyte games into our consoles with constant feedback going back to the servers. Could definitely see that hitting, but I think that's what Microsoft is aiming for. Although I prefer PlayStation systems over Xbox, I do have to say they have done things that are obviously just oriented toward gaming and making gamers happy, particularly at their own cost. For instance, the backwards compatibility with original Xbox and 360 games, that doesn't cost anything extra. Like, you just take your copy of Ninja Gaiden Black on the original Xbox, pop it into your Xbox One, it downloads a digital copy of it that's upscaled, enhanced, boom, here you go. You don't have to pay for Xbox Live to have this or anything, and I think that's pretty awesome, and I've really been hoping Sony would take a page from their book with the PS5 and give us that ability with the PS3. Even if they don't want to put in the chips to let us run the PS3 disc natively, just do the same thing. We put in the disc and leave it in the console as an authenticator, but let us download a digital, upscaled, enhanced copy of this game that's already patched, fixed, ready to go. Preservation-wise, and as, being a crazy game collector with the backlog of PS3 and PS2 games I haven't gotten to, or Xbox and Xbox 360 games, I think that's fucking fantastic. That I don't have to worry about, oh, I want to play The Witcher 2 on 360. Like, well, the servers that upload the patches for that game are down, your SOL kind of thing. But if I put it in my Xbox One, it downloads that digital copy of it that's already patched. And also still buggy as fucking hell, but still.
Yeah. Good point, man. Well, speaking of Sony and how they are so much better, Death Stranding had a new trailer that came out.
Oh my god, 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, and it was 8.5 minutes of pretty much awesomeness, I think.
Craziness.
Don't you love how during that 8.5 minutes, it's all like, all right, the trailer's ending. Oh, wait, no, it's not. All right, now the trailer's ending. Oh, wait, no, it's not.
I know, I felt like I was at Lord of the Rings.
I felt that I was watching Walking Dead, the Norman Reedus days or something.
Oh, God.
That's what's driving me nuts, dude. Like, it's pretty much like watching Daryl in a video game. Like, he even rides a flipping motorcycle, dude. Enters dead people.
Well, he talks more in this game versus the show, though.
That's true, but still, like, I'm just watching. Like, he's holding onto a baby. He's riding a motorcycle, and oh yeah, there's another world and dead things running around. It's Walking Dead, Kojima style.
It's so many more questions. Like, every time they put out more content, I just have less of an idea of what the game's ultimately going to be like.
Right.
Like, why is there now World War I? And
right. Like, are you flipping through time? What the fuck, dude?
It's going to be crazy cool. We're super excited for it.
I actually am. At first, I was just kind of, and then I saw that latest trailer with all the other actors and things. I was like, fuck, now I do really want to play this. One, because I do enjoy some crazy Kojima shit. I really do. But the trailer really makes it look really fucking intriguing. And all those actors like Mads Mikkelsen and Norman Reedus, and I forgot
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, his weirdness. I can deal with the interdimensional space baby thing to be able to sit through this game just to.
And Norman Reedus' pregnancy.
What the Probably.
Don't you remember the earlier trailers when they first showed it? It looked like he just gave birth to a baby.
Yeah.
And there was like black tar everywhere. You're like, what
do you remember
the
the one
this?
where he just starts dancing? They showed a clip of that in the newest trailer. I was just, what the fuck?
There's a scene of him and Kojima kissing as well.
Probably.
Probably.
After the ending of Metal Gear Solid 2, after I sat through that, I kind of had to sit down and decide, am I on the fucking Kojima craziness train or not? Then I saw the trailer for Metal Gear Solid 4 with all that shit. I was like, yeah, I'm on board, all aboard. Woot woot.
Dude,
let's go.
He's solid, man. Like, everything that I've played of his has always been fantastic. So, I'm actually pretty excited about this game, but you know how I am. I'm not going to pick it up day one.
You're not going to pre-order a $200 plastic space baby in a jar?
I saw that. That's going to probably stay at that price for a long time.
Oh, it is. People were just bitching left and right about the scalpers. Like, oh my god, I'm so happy that I was able to burn $200 on this. Like, all right, whatever makes you happy, I guess.
No, like there's certain games that I get excited for. A little Space Baby. Where am I going to display that? And it has a briefcase. Like, where do I put that type of thing?
Stick it in the bed, scare the hell out of your wife.
That would actually be pretty funny.
You got a fanny pack and you carry it with you everywhere you go.
Dude, a clear fanny
yes.
pack. That'd be great. Yeah, go to work with it. What's this? It's just my interdimensional Space Baby. It links to the other side.
Funny segue. The buddy of mine back in Florida, he is a funny guy, and he's a very creative person, and I don't know why, but one day he decided to do this, and he actually recorded her reaction. But so if you didn't know, Walmart will print on most anything, including blankets. So they can print on a blanket for you, which is weird and kind of cool.
You know, we just learned recently that they have very high quality print photos.
Yeah,
like
they do,
prints.
actually.
We were shocked,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, so what he did was he bought a queen-size blanket for his bed, and he had Reggie Fils-Aime's face printed on this huge 8x10 whatever blanket. And then, of course, he makes the bed and puts it on there, and he, records his wife coming home, and she just walks in the bedroom and sees the face of Reggie just smiling back from her wedding bed. And you just see her, like, trying not to have a mental breakdown. She's like, why would you do this? It was phenomenal. It just, y'all reminded me of it.
I mean,
we all need Reggie sheets.
I would be pretty excited.
So.
I need Reggie pillows.
Yeah, I was gonna say Reggie pillowcase with this,
but
his
just
little
different,
grin on there.
Different faces though of Reggie, like all the faces of Reggie on your pillows.
I want a blanket of him where he's doing the thing where he's like, dancing in place and tapping his watch. Have the picture of that as the blanket.
That'd be pretty sweet, dude.
Then we can have My Body Is Ready sheets.
There we go.
Oh, I'm totally stoked. We need to do this, James. We need to print out bed sheets of Reggie.
You know what? We could do this and we can give them away.
That is true. Maybe we can do a little cheaper for us. Maybe Reggie pillowcases.
Yeah, we could probably do that.
Be interesting. I think we could do something similar to that.
We could do some Miyamoto pillowcases, with like, I'm sure somewhere we can find the picture of him reacting to people showing Mario and Luigi as gay and his face reaction, and just print that.
That'd have to be a 2-set pillowcase. One next to the other.
The image and the reaction.
All right, so do we have anything else on Death Stranding other than we are excited and we totally want to play this game?
No, but we do have something on poor reactions.
Poor reactions?
Poor reactions. So for those people who are actually out there still playing Anthem, which actually isn't a lot, I did a little bit of research to look a little bit deeper. So Anthem is not doing super well. Their players are not very excited. They're about to have their first Cataclysm event, which was a promised feature of the games. It's supposed to be like a big world experience in the game where it totally changes the map and adds new content and all this stuff.
Does it add a new game altogether? Just transforms Anthem to a good game?
They could only hope. It's a big raid style event. Kill as many enemies as possible before a timer reaches 0 and do some activities and stuff. But it's looking like it's just going to be an additional area added in for a limited time. It's not going to be all that they cracked it up to be. And the people who are still playing, which isn't a lot, aren't very excited. I looked it up and there was an article from May 25th and Anthem's not even in their top 50 most played games on Xbox. At the bottom of that list is Battlefield 1, which is averaging about 7,500.
So there's
and
50...
can dip as low as 2,500 on a weekend. So Anthem is just... And how long ago did Battlefield 1 come out?
Oh, a few years ago.
Yeah, so it's absolutely garbage. Player base is getting horrendous news about this feature that was supposed to be like a draw, and maybe if it was good enough could bring some people back from the brink back into the game, but it just sounds like it's not going to finish the year out.
So Battlefield's ranked 50 at 7,500 players, and Anthem doesn't even make that list.
Correct.
Okay, so obviously we can expect Anthem to have less than... Is this global or is this national?
I would imagine global. 25,000 people?
Let me see. Well, because... so the thing is, Xbox doesn't publish the play counts, so these stats are off of Battlefield 1 stats.
And
I don't know what they...
Is it possible that EA just hasn't released Anthem? Well, I guess they would because Battlefield, right? So...
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, what I'm taking away from this, Ryan was saying Battlefield at its low point is 25,000 players.
2,500.
2,500. Like 2,500 people playing. Is that what you said?
Yeah, so...
Holy fucking shit. And it's below the ranks
on a low
on that.
weekend. So I'm on Battlefield 1 stats right now. Right now they've got 27,000 current players.
That's still really low.
Total. But Anthem is a Xbox... only game.
No, it's on PS4.
No, it's on PS4
Oh,
as
it
well.
is?
And PC, I think. If not, it's definitely on both consoles. But
Okay.
Well, I guess at the end of the day, regardless, the game came out less than 6 months ago, right?
yeah, pretty much. I'm just so disappointed because when I saw the trailer for Anthem at the last E3 or whatever, I was like, that looks so fucking cool. I'm not really into Destiny style games, but that looks so fucking awesome. Bet it's gonna be fun. John and I and everyone can play, and then just it basically like the gate opened up and they rolled over a box and a turd rolled out, and all they keep doing is keep sprinkling sand on the turd. It seems like it's fucking just like, God,
We gotta hide
damn
it, James.
EA.
This also says that Fallout 76 is ranked number 27 on the list.
That's actually pretty
Fuck.
sad.
Wow.
The fact that game is higher than
yeah,
Anthem.
so it's at least 23 games higher than
Jesus
Anthem
Christ,
is.
you guys want to start playing Fallout 76 then?
No, I'm good.
More
I'm
than
good.
Anthem.
Yeah, it is more than Anthem. Okay. That sucks.
Wow.
Well, let's get some little positive news in here, kind of.
Yeah, I'm depressed now. Fuck.
Yeah, why don't we talk about a little bit of Pokemon Sleep that was just
I was
announced?
going to ask about that. What was it? Pokemon, let's go do the dishes. Pokemon, the laundry needs to be done.
Yep.
Pokemon, tax time.
Pokemon, did you go to the bathroom yet? Yeah, that'd be a good... Can you imagine that? Just monitors your stress levels.
Pokemon
are-
movement instead of Pokemon Go.
Pokemon, are we there yet?
Oh, my God. So, yeah, basically
Pokemon, oh God, there's 4 more hours in the workday.
That'd actually be pretty good too. So it goes through your anxiety levels. The higher anxiety,
Fucking
the
Snorlax
less
with the-
your levels go up.
Snorlax with a tie sitting in a cubicle.
Don't give them ideas. They're listening. So Pokemon Sleep. From my understanding and a little bit of information that I've kind of reviewed so far in the memes that I've seen, it pretty much is a peripheral that connects to you kind of like a Fitbit. And it connects to the Pokemon Sleep application or game, I guess you can call it. And there's 2 things. You have like Pokemon Go Plus, which is linked to that. And it allows you to pretty much through your exercise and everything else, it kind of coordinates via Bluetooth with that title. And then you have Pokemon Sleep. So when you go to bed, the more you sleep and the better you sleep, the better your levels, obviously. So, Ryan, did you have anything to say about this?
That peripheral they're making for it is called the Pokemon Go Plus Plus.
The Pokemon Go Plus Plus?
Yes. It
So-
says specifically in the article, not a typo. And this article on GameSpot also references something. James, I don't know. You were talking about your Vita earlier. Do you remember the Sony Wake Up Club for Vita? It's like a gamified alarm clock app.
No clue.
That's
It's
pretty
one
cool,
of the
actually.
default applications built in. I tried messing with it back in the day. I don't remember it very much, but
Is it kind of like those math apps where like an alarm goes off and you have to solve a couple math problems type of thing?
oh, I have no clue. I don't really remember much about it. I know that Vita had all kinds of weird stuff in, like the look who's around you and what they're playing
Yeah,
feature and stuff like that.
sounds
that just
a bit
never
like
really
the-
caught on here. More of a Japanese kind of.
Well, Sony's never really been able to penetrate the handheld market. Even back with the PSP, obviously it was okay, but they never really did put a key focus on those devices.
It's I think that had a lot to do with kind of like you said, the games on the Vita and the games on the PSP. There were some good ones, but most of them are just it's okay. It's all right. If they would have done something smarter, like
Pokemon Go movement.
well, that or just more PS1 games, because the PSP is perfectly capable of playing PS1 games after modding, and so is the Vita, and so on.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I actually thought the whole Pokemon Sleep thing was just a bunch of joke memes and stuff like that. That's why I was posting them. I had no idea that it was a real fucking game. So I like the idea that Nintendo cares about our health, and considering how many Americans sleep poorly anyways, a lot of them don't even realize it. Now we get to have the added stress of that our Pokemon are going to be stressed the fuck out because we're not sleeping well.
Well, no, James, it's incentive. If you sleep well, your Pokemon do well. So now we'll all sleep better.
I see a rise in sales of Ambien and shit like that.
I don't know. I've been trying to correct
me-
my sleep schedule lately, so I'll try to check this out and see what it's like. I don't know how much that peripheral is going to be. I wanted to get the original Pokemon Plus thing for Go back when I did that a long time ago, but I don't know. I'll look into it. The other thing though is that I think Nintendo's trying to make all of its players not only healthier, but I think they're trying to gamify us and treat us as Tamagotchis. They try to make sure we exercise. They try to make sure we sleep enough. Next thing, like you said, Pokemon movement. They're going to make sure that our poops are taken care of.
Yeah, Pokemon
like they're really
eats.
trying to control us.
Do you think they're going to have like a scanner of some sort where like you go over to toilet to make sure you're healthy?
Right?
You know, like
It might have a thing where you submit a sample.
There we go.
yeah, kind of like
You know, Pokemon, it's time to eat. You know, if you don't eat your regular meals and your Pokemon start starving, I think you're right. We're fucking Tamagotchi to them. You
Pokemon
know, Nintendo,
23
the toy
and me.
company, has come full circle. Now we are the toys.
Pokemon
Exactly.
23 and me, and over there they're going to be like
Pokemon
buying
23 and me.
they're going to be buying our data and like trying to breed us to
You're-
have better Pokemon.
Your ancestors are from Ireland and half Onyx. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm actually I kind of want to play this now.
Yeah, I for one am looking forward to like little Ambien tablets stamped with little Jigglypuffs on them and stuff. You know?
Yeah, who's the pharmaceutical company that makes Ambien? I'm
The
actually
same one that makes the candy.
I need to buy some stock.
Grind up all your Snorlax into sleeping pills.
Oh man. Oh, so that's what happens with all the Pokemon you put in for candy. Oh, this is terrible news. All right, so
What
off
else is
from
in the news?
Pokemon Sleep, you wanted to discuss two bad news. Maybe we should have said Pokemon for after this because you've got two pieces of bad news.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of them is a real fucking downer. One of them is questionable. Obviously, the new Samurai Showdown is about to be released. That's fantastic. That part's great. Samurai Showdown, love it. Great fucking fighting game series. However, there are some unsubstantiated rumors. We did our research and we couldn't verify, but first part is true. They are giving away the Season 1 DLC pass for free for everyone who pre-orders or purchases it in the first week. I think, Ryan, you said they have to, 5 days to redeem it?
Buying Samurai Showdown before June 30th will net you Season Pass for free is the headline on Destructoid.
Wonderful. And I think that's fucking fantastic. Now, the weird part is there have been a lot of people...
That was gross,
I've seen
James.
well, I can put it out the other end if you prefer with the
No,
door closed.
I'm okay. At least you turned away and towards my game collection, which is now melting as we speak.
Labels peeling off. Anyhow, there was a lot of people commenting on many threads, and I think at this point, since I can't find any substantiation, that I think they're just trying to start rumors that the season pass will expire, as in you will get it, you'll get your characters, and then after 6 months, oh, well, it's expired, you got to buy them again or some ridiculous shit. But I would say as a warning to anyone who doesn't pay attention or other game collectors who have a habit of buying, new games, a lot of the games you buy, the DLC codes that come in them with their limited editions, collector's edition, they actually have expiration dates, meaning that you need to redeem this code and this content within a year or 2 years. I think it was, the Evil Within trilogy. I think it was Evil Within, not Outlast. I had bought it from Walmart, brand new, slipcover, everything. And I was curious, all right, I'm going to check this out, blah, blah. And I was looking at the back of it after I bought it. It says, the DLC codes expired 6 months prior, they were good for a year. That in itself, I think, is kind of shady. It's one thing to give you 2-3 years. Look, if you haven't redeemed this shit within 3 years, you're just not gonna. But it's nope, you got 6 months or you got a year, otherwise it's no good. But I think that the Samurai Showdown bit is hopefully unsubstantiated. I believe the way that they have it set up to work is a lot of the way they've done the new Killer Instinct, which is you'll get a roster of a couple of characters or a handful of characters. Every week they'll rotate in and out a character or two for you to actually try out. And it's look, if you dig this character, pay for just this character. I have no qualms with Killer Instinct doing that because digitally Killer Instinct was free. The physical copies were cheap. However, Samurai Showdown is $60. So it better come with at least, in my opinion, minimal of 8 characters and a lot of cool features and modes, but time would tell. But on
8
to
characters seems like an awfully small roster
nowadays, yeah.
I mean, when you look at Smash Bros on the Nintendo Switch, I think anything is small underneath 20.
Yeah, pretty much. We were so spoiled. The original Street Fighter 2, when it came out, you got to play as 4 or 8 standard characters, and then there was the 4 bosses. When Turbo came out, they added the 4 bosses. When Super came out, they added 4 new characters, and so on. Even like vanilla Street Fighter 5 and 4, without DLC, I think at least 12 or 16 characters, like a shit ton. Even
I mean, what are we up to on Smash?
A lot.
a fuck ton, and I think they're still like had 1 or 2 that we're going to add, or at least variants of characters. But yeah, it's a little odd. There's a little more research you need to do on that. So, obviously take anything we say with a grain of salt. But in news that makes me real sad is, of course, everyone's aware of the bankruptcy and the closing of Telltale Games, which really sucks. We'll never get Wolf Among Us 2. We were fortunate enough to get the conclusion for the Walking Dead Telltale series. But for some reason, I guess, because part of their bankruptcy proceedings, they're going to be auctioning off their intellectual properties or the contracts of them. So those games are actually starting to be removed from online game stores. Good Old Games, GOG.com. They started removing them from Steam. So things like Tales from the Borderlands, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Wolf Among Us, the Batman series, things like that are starting to disappear. And by disappear, I mean as in you can't go buy them again, which really sucks. So it means whoever buys up the rights to those for distribution will have to decide if they feel like putting up the money to put these back up for sale. And considering that many of them didn't sell too well, like Guardians of the Galaxy, that's really looking very slim. So I think I'm going to go start looking for physical copies of these releases.
Yeah, when you were mentioning that was something I was considering as well. Is I don't have many physical copies of Telltale games, and it might not be a bad idea to grab a few of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've only played a minute or two of the Batman one, and it was pretty interesting. The Walking Dead obviously is phenomenal. The first season is fucking phenomenal. The second season's good, but it feels like just a rehash of the first. The Wolf Among Us is absolutely one of my favorites. I love the Fables comic series, and that game was fan-fucking-tastic. Like, I practically just grab people and shake them like, you have to fucking play this game!
So, I mean, you do bring up a good point, though. So it's based on the Fable comics, and one thing that Telltale did during that bankruptcy is they reached out to Robert Kirkman, who's one of the co-creators of Walking Dead, and his studio, Skybound Studios, actually finished, or is supposed to be finishing that Walking Dead chapter, right? So it wouldn't surprise me if you do get a Wolf Among Us 2 by Skybound, comics. And
I will
whatever.
Fucking pre-order that shit.
Yeah, so, I mean, the fact that they've already come through, if they see enough value in doing that, they may do a second copy, and he might branch into video games at that point.
God, I hope so.
So, we'll see.
What does Ryan think about this?
Yeah.
I've played some of the Telltale games. My wife really liked Wolf Among Us. I thought it was a really interesting story, and I liked the art in all of these games. I think that there was a really creative route to go in, but I think that they just oversaturated their own market. I don't think that what happened made a ton of news because people weren't interested in it. Like, it was definitely a big deal when this happened, and it is weird to see these games just kind of going away like that, when you think that, if it's just a digital game, it'll be around forever, and that's not really the case. So I guess as far as collecting goes, that really gives a big modern reason to push for these physical copies. Like, you guys got the Hollow Knight physical editions. I mean, I don't foresee anything happening to, that studio and their distribution of their digital game, but it could happen. I mean, Telltale was a big studio, and now it's going to be impossible to get their stuff digitally, so it's going to create its own new secondhand market now.
Well, and I guess we haven't heard, there's no information out there that says why this is all occurring, so it kind of comes down to, is it, because they're bankrupt, and to not have to pay the employees that created those games in any sort of payment whatsoever from profits, maybe? Like, maybe there's contracts involved that
I don't think any
developers got some.
The production company gets
any
kind of royalties. Like, I know voice actors and stuff don't get royalties. I'm sure that everybody who worked actually on staff doesn't get a check every time they sell a copy.
Well, I mean, we don't know all the
inner. Got completely screwed.
What's that?
most of the employees at Telltale's got fucked.
Yeah, I was reading that there's actually a class action lawsuit going on right now with the employees or former employees of Telltale.
Yeah, because they didn't do their due diligence to warn the employees or give them any kind of heads up. It was just one day of like, yep, yeah, everyone go home, we're closed, you know.
Yeah.
Like, except for you 5 people, you need to finish this game. Everybody else get the fuck out. Essentially how it went.
Can you imagine being one of those 5 people?
I've been with companies where we all got laid off because the store was closing, but it was never like a sudden like, well, today's your last day, have a nice day. It was never like that, you know.
I'm just waiting.
I had
like
that happen once.
A year from now, we're gonna hear about the hot coffee scene of Walking Dead from the 5 employees that went rogue during the production of it.
Nope. I am not imagining that with Clementine. Just nope.
All right. So speaking of terrible news, we had our crappy game challenge of Simpsons Wrestling today. Screw you, James.
You could thank Ryan for this. He brings it on you.
God, dude, stop stop giving him reasons to give us crappy games.
Just, I will destroy your optimism
just
one day.
One of these days fake that you're like that you absolutely hate the game, even if you're like, oh, it's cool, the buttons work.
No, I said it was a terrible game. I didn't say that it was a good game. I just said that the controls were responding the way that I expected them to respond.
They weren't responsive. They were absolutely horrible.
I mean, they weren't good, but like, I don't know. You made it sound worse. It wasn't a good game. So, Simpsons Wrestling, developed by Big Ape Productions, released in 2001. It's a fighting game, wrestling game.
It's not wrestling. We can agree it's not
barely
wrestling.
Yeah. And it was universally panned, getting a 1 out of 10 on IGN. The highest rated whoever Game Zone gave it a 7.5.
What the fuck?
Somebody paid him off.
Yeah, or they played a different game and they're confused. One of those.
GameSpot gave it a 6.4. I think that 1 out of 10 for IGN is a pretty brutal. Metacritic 32. It's not a good game. So it's a pretty basic brawler, arena combat game. You've got only 3 attacks. You've got a meter that charges up.
Well, you got more than 3 attacks. You have a grapple move that you can do as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I think I never figured out how to quite get that shit to work.
Yeah, I will say
L2.
that the grapple felt like absolute trash.
Oh yeah, the grapple was so difficult, and then when you finally did grapple, the meter just went down so fast, nothing happened.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
it was an awful game, for sure. We played every character. Groundskeeper Willie, definitely OP with his lane trap strats.
I'd argue that Lisa and playing that saxophone, which did absolutely nothing, was probably my best game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked Homer with the bowling balls, considering they just bounce around the ring like fucking Koopa shells, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I really like is you and Ryan playing Homer and Marge in America's Domestic Dispute. And she's like, I've had enough. I'm just going to throw the baby on you. And then like Maggie's like sticking on his arm. It's like, so this is what she does in life.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, I guess for anyone who's curious, so the controls, there's actually input delay in the controls. Like, we're playing on a fucking PlayStation 2 on a TV with no input lag, and there's still input lag on the button press. The hitboxes were fucking terrible. The ring itself is set in a almost isometric view, so walking is a little weird. It doesn't feel quite right. I mean, it's manageable, but it's not quite right. Things like, bouncing yourself off the ropes, you lose momentum. To be able to do any real attack, you have a meter that fills up by doing nothing. You have to basically walk around or stand still, and the meter fills up, and then you can actually do an attack or grapple or whatever. Just not a well thought out game at all. Even like you collect letters and things throughout the ring to do a taunt. All the taunts
are terrible.
Were fucking dumb. They really were.
They don't even do anything. Nope. I in fact, I did
They make you invulnerable.
No, I did one taunt with Lisa while you were playing Barney, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't do anything. Like, you were like kind of woozy for a second, and then immediately you were back up. Like,
yeah, but
nothing...
it makes you invulnerable.
Oh, is that what it's supposed to do?
Yeah, at least once I saw it pop up and say invulnerable. There's the thing where they throw in the goodies into the ring, like, oh, you pick this up, you restored your energy, or you pick this up, you have a speed boost.
I think Homer eating the donuts out of a box is pretty entertaining.
That was pretty awesome.
Mid-fight, it's just like,
yeah.
The voices are the only good part about the game, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, the graphics are grainy and weird. It's like, I don't know how they managed to make it look so scribbly and
Well, and it's on a
undefined.
Well, and it's on a PlayStation 2 on an early end HD TV, so it's not like we were playing on a 4K TV through a PS3 or something.
The part of the reason for that, honestly, I'll chalk it up to just shitty programming. The PlayStation 1 wasn't designed to make or run 2D graphics. That's why there wasn't a whole lot of 2D games on the PlayStation 1, but this game came out pretty much at the end of the life of the PS1. So at this point, they already had like the Mega Man X games, Mega Man 7, and other games that are 2D and very well animated, so they really had no excuse. But yeah, that's pretty much how it looks. Even if we were playing on a CRT, it's still going to look all scratchy and grainy like that.
Well, if you look at the history of a lot of the Simpsons games out there, like Hit and Run and what's the other one I'm thinking of? It's like Grand Theft Auto style.
That's Hit and Run.
Are you sure? I thought Hit and Run was the taxi type one. Crazy
there
taxi
was
one.
Two of them. There's Simpsons Hit and Run, and I can't remember the name of the other one. But even like the Simpsons,
Road Rage. Road Rage is the taxi
Yeah.
one. I'm looking at it right now on the shelf.
Yeah, the Simpsons, the movie game, I've always heard was pretty good. I haven't sat down and played it.
Well, I mean, historically looking at their games, those controllers were clunky as well.
Oh,
I mean,
dude, historically looking at previous Simpsons games before like the PS2 GameCube era,
yeah,
they were
Bart-
pretty much all garbage.
Yeah, the mutant one, Bart, on the NES. I think.
Thank you for reminding me that exists. So, guess what happens when Ryan exposes his optimism? Like, Wolverine's not so bad. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I was like, guess what you're gonna play after?
Dude, he threw Bayou Billy on. Come on, stop! Let's play good games.
I'm not gonna stop until one of y'all vomit in the middle of a gaming session. That's how fucking bad it has to be.
I was
my
close on
new
this one.
New goal is to play good games. You guys have these massive collections of games, and every week it feels like we're just kind of scratching the bottom of the barrel. There's got to be something good out there.
There are, aren't you? You've been looking at the shelf as we've been talking.
Yeah, you pick one.
Well, for some reason, I want to say that we should try doing a Wii game, because we haven't played a Wii game yet, but I'm not really sure what we should do.
You want to trade places so you can get a better view of them?
Well, I mean, I picked like the last couple games. Like, why doesn't somebody else pick something good?
We can play Mad World.
Oh yeah, that always looked cool. Yeah, let's do that. I never played that.
I know James kind of shrugged his shoulders.
I mean, it was all right. It had a cool art style to it. I mean, as a game, it just was kind of eh.
How about Samba de Amigo?
You got that on Wii?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, awesome.
All right, we'll do that.
Okay, well, let's make sure that we have all the controls for it. So if we don't do that next week, you'll know why.
You should use the Wii mode as a maraca. That's all.
Oh, is that all it is?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what Samba de Amigo is. It's a maraca game.
All right, remind me to buy batteries.
Batteries.
Get batteries.
Okay.
Costco's down the road.
Sounds good.
Hashtag
all right.
could be a sponsor.
Could be a sponsor. Actually, we got to run by there later.
There you go.
So what are we going to rate Simpsons Wrestling?
Well, first let's say that Simpsons Wrestling, loose $8.19, complete $11.99.
You know what that receipt says?
You
$1.99
got it for $1.99, and I think you still overpaid.
I think so as well. I want my $2 back, Waterfront.
I think that I would much rather go to an arcade and pay 25 cents to play the Simpsons arcade game, which is like a really good game.
Or how about this? We go to an arcade that has free play set up and unlimited lives, and then play it like that for no quarters.
Well, I'm saying in the price thing that we do here every week.
Oh, I gotcha.
I'm saying that a quarter to play a way better game is worth way more than $1.99 that you paid for this crap.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm a really big Simpsons fan, so that was primarily why I picked that game up, just to add it to the collection of Simpsons titles and stuff I have. And I'm kind of disappointed that I spent $2 on it.
It's an awful game. I played it I was foolish enough to rent it back in the day because I loved The Simpsons. And it was just, I should have known after playing like Bart versus the Space Mutants and trying to play like, Bart's Nightmare and stuff like that. I should have seen it fucking coming, but I rented it back in the day. And I kind of want that $5 or $6 I paid for the rental back, to be honest, but I would pay $5 for a complete in box just to have it on my shelf because I don't have it because it's The Simpsons and it's a bit of an uncommon game. But
hey James, that $5 or $6 you spent back then to rent it, after inflation everything has kicked in, what did you spend in modern day money?
I don't know. I don't ever use Redbox, but I would say in modern money that's probably like $30 fucking.
It's probably about right.
Yeah.
What?
We're just
Yeah,
factoring
he's
in
inflating
inflation.
$6. He's not countering if video rental stores were still a thing, I'm still sure it would probably be like $8 or $9 to rent a game for 5 or 7
Yeah.
days. Or whatever.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
got you.
I'm just
Yeah,
thinking of the money he
realistically.
spent. Yeah.
But I would pay $5 for it if it's clean, complete in box. Other
Mine
than that, and that's literally me
New
just
old
buying.
stock.
Mine is clean,
Yeah.
complete in box, and I bought it for $2. So that's a $3 profit over the last 6 years.
There you go.
Well, more than that because it's up to $12 now.
That's true.
Someone's paying $12 for this shit.
Well, it was $12 back in 2013 as well.
Yeah, it probably was.
I mean, I'm
'Cause
looking
it's The
at
Simpsons.
Well, it's my old store actually happened to have the label for that.
Ah.
Yeah, so I happened to find it at a thrift store back then. November of 2013, I picked it up for $1.99.
Absolutely, but what John was trying to segue into is we were planning on trying to go to Starfighters Arcade and take the sign with us, do a little promo, maybe see if we can work with them a little bit. Basically $11, all you can play.
Yeah,
$10
we'll
all
try
you can
to
play.
get that set up one day and get out there.
We're thinking next Sunday.
Yeah, next Sunday is what we were thinking.
We're putting you on the spot, Ryan.
Yes, we are.
Oh, I can't commit to that right here, right now.
Just like you can't commit to other games. I see how it is.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and say it is heavily, heavily inflated at its $11.99 price point. It is not even worth the $2 that was spent. Actually, $1.99 because there was no tax at that location. The $1.99 I spent back in 2013.
Yeah. So sorry to everybody out there who's got multiple copies of this and is just waiting to corner the market. It ain't gonna happen.
I mean, they could. They still could. It's still $11.99 right now.
Me personally, I think you should pay me $1.99 for sitting and playing a couple of rounds of it.
There you go.
No, I've already spent too much money on this game. You got to enjoy it as well. All right. Well, I think we are good with episode 32. If you're still listening to us right now, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And you can find us on Podbean, as well as major podcast applications. Google
Subscribe
Music,
to-
Spotify,
Like,
and
comment, subscribe.
Like,
Hit
comment,
that
subscribe.
bell notification on YouTube.
Yep.
5 stars.
Yeah, give us 5 stars. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We are working towards starting to upload video content.
Our first one actually was on Instagram.
Yeah, that's us just doing a quick test run. So we're actually going to get proper capture devices and we'll do some regular videos of us playing, commenting. You'll actually get to see the crappy game challenge. We'll make sure that we vomit off screen for y'all.
Should be pretty good. All right. Well, I've been John,
I'm Ryan.
I'm James.
and we are
The
the
Game
Game
Deflators.
Deflators. I think we got that one right.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone.